And the US is expanding its military presence in West Asia amid that war. Aircraft carrier USS Nimitz cancelled a port call in Vietnam and is headed to West Asia. This according to ship tracking website Marine Traffic. In fact, the aircraft carrier left the South China Sea on Monday and is on its way to the Gulf region. The vessel had been slated to dock in Vietnam this week, but its scheduled visit was cancelled due to what American diplomats are describing as emergent operational requirements, according to Reuters. No official confirmation has been issued so far regarding its destination. However, several defense analysts believe that the shift is a strategic repositioning in anticipation of the escalating hostilities between Israel and Iran. And the U.S. Defense Secretary also confirmed that he directed the deployment of the additional capabilities to West Asia. The repositioning of the USS Nimitz also coming amid U.S. President Donald Trump's request that the National Security Council be prepared to assemble in what is called the Situation Room. This was confirmed by a White House spokesperson. The Situation Room is an intelligence management complex on the ground floor of the West Wing of the White House. It was established in 1961 by President Kennedy after the Bay of Pigs disaster, which revealed a need for a centralized crisis management center. And Trump has used the Situation Room before, of course. During his first term, he was pictured alongside then Vice President Mike Pence and other senior advisors when America's drone strike killed the Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad in 2020. And it is in this room that former President Barack Obama and his top aides watched the raids that killed Osama bin Laden in May 2011. And let's go straight across now to our correspondent, Susan Teherani, who's with us for the latest on all of that. Susan, first, that statement that's been put out by the White House categorically reiterating and laying out Trump's stance on Iran's nuclear program. What exactly is Trump trying to communicate? What exactly is the White House trying to do through that statement?
So just a quick note on the statements that come out from the White House. The Trump administration has issued similar statements, even when it comes to domestic policies, where they sort of quote and requote the president's stance on different issues. There was a similar one on immigration. But nonetheless, this is noteworthy. It's very important because of the situation that we're in right now with tensions rising between Israel and Iran and the ongoing war. One of the reasons President Trump, many analysts believe, decided to put out this long statement and email it to correspondents is to show that President Trump's stance has not changed throughout the years, really dating back almost to a decade that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And the United States will do everything in its power to prevent the Islamic Republic from having a nuclear weapon. And there's one thing that we can all be certain. President Trump does not want to be the U.S. president where under his watch, Iran acquires a nuclear weapon or, God forbid, uses one in any capacity. So I think that's why we're seeing that. There were some sort of back and forths from individuals like commentator Tucker Carlson and others, even some in the Trump administration, that were wondering whether or not the manner he's been dealing with the Israel-Iran war is really MAGA, the Make America Great agenda. Is it the America First agenda that he promised? And then, of course, there are those Democrats who are wondering to what extent is President Trump, if willing to engage the United States in this war in any possible way. So I think this was laying out quote after quote of President Trump, even during the campaign trail and even prior to that, when President Obama was at the White House, that his position has always been clear that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And we see one after another the sentences. It's quite simple. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. That part of his different various comments and speeches seem to continue in one post after another.
All right, we're leaving it there for the moment. Susan, thanks very much for joining us with those updates.